Friends, it's good to see you again today, and I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about painting services for acrylic paints. And I know when I got started I was a little bit confused about what was okay to paint for practice and what was okay to paint to sell, so I'm going to go over those with you today. The first thing I'm going to start off with is canvas paper. It's soft on the other side and has canvas texture on the front. It comes in a pad very similar to a watercolor pad, but it's canvas paper. This is great for acrylics. There is no bleed through. I would, however, only use this for practicing, and the reason I say that is because it can tend to, let me see if I can show you that. The paper can tend to bend kind of like watercolor paper, only there's no way to straighten it out. So my tip for you, if you're going to use canvas paper, is to put it on a piece of MDF board or whiteboard and then tape it down with painter's tape or masking tape before you use it. But you can get some great results with canvas paper. Well, I know you've seen in the art stores all the different types of sketchbooks and art books. So this is a great example. I did use acrylic on this, and it is mixed media paper. So mixed media paper is a little bit thicker, not quite as thick as your watercolor paper. It will warp. So it's definitely meant to just paint on for fun, get some practice in. This one actually has tear out sheets, so I can take it out and hang it up in my studio and use it as a reference. But mixed media paper is what you're looking for here. One of the things I really like to paint on, especially if I'm practicing something, are these very thin canvas panels. And you can see the back of these. They're usually meant for doing studies. Now, the nice thing about the panels, they are hard, unlike the paper. You can get them in 8x10s and 11x14s, paint something and stick it up in a frame and it'll fit nicely in your frame. I would not recommend selling this, and one of the reasons is it's cardboard inside this. So if it gets wet, it will warp. They can last. So my mother-in-law has some paintings that she did on this and they've lasted a long time, but she's very careful with her artwork, and so it didn't warp. It's never been exposed to the elements. So these are great for practice and they're very inexpensive. You can usually get them in a pack of 5 or 6, and I highly recommend practicing with canvas panels, but I don't recommend them for final pieces that you're going to be selling. A nice one that I found is painting on wood instead of just canvas, mostly because I like the smooth surface. So there's a couple of different types of wood that I've used. One is an MDF board, which I don't happen to have one here with me today. I have this piece of, it's a wood decor, but it happened to be made of MDF. So this is pre-cut. But if you were to pick up the MDF boards in, say, a Home Depot or a Lowe's, they come in large sheets and you'll have to get them cut down if you don't have the tools to do it yourself at home. These are very nice, but the main thing is if you're doing portraits or you're doing something with a lot of detail, using some sort of board or panel is a great option. So something I've used recently, and I really like these for resin work, or say you're going to do a pour painting and you need something strong that's made of wood, but you still would love for it to have a professional looking edge. So I have these these are birch wood panels. Now you do have to gesso any wood that you're going to be painting on, including the MDF board that I showed you before, and then your acrylic will adhere to it very nicely. These are pre-sanded, so there's not much pre-work to be done, and it looks very professional, and they're lightweight. All right, so our most popular option is canvas. And this is what the back of a small canvas looks like. And it's gonna have some tooth to it. There is gonna be a lot of texture. This one's still wrapped in the plastic. and they are stapled on the back. They should not come apart. I would recommend getting quality canvases. So your basic canvas looks like a perfect rectangle. When you get into some of the larger canvases, this is an 18 by 24, then they will have the support bars. These are 3/4 of an inch, I think, or 7/8, 3/4 of an inch. And you can also get them an inch thick, which I think looks more professional if you're going to be hanging your art in a gallery, but it's not necessary. So the nice thing about canvases is they're very lightweight. You can pop them into a standard size frame if you have a standard size canvas, and you can secure them, put them up on the wall, and they're nice and lightweight. And if they're a little bit loose, you usually can get little wedges to go in to secure the canvas. That might be something you'll want to look up in the future. And what I find is sometimes the drum isn't as tight as it's supposed to be, and I'll spray the back of the canvas and it tightens right up, which I love that, because every once in a while maybe I'll lay my canvas on something that I shouldn't and it'll get pushed out of place. And as long as I spray the back, it pops right back in. And then of course I leave it out like this so that it's thoroughly dried, so that there's no rot that happens. Canvas is a really great material for that, and I think you'll find it a lovely surface. But like I said before, canvases, if you want a perfectly smooth surface, you'll have to gesso it and sand it down. I didn't like it for portraits. I much prefer wood panel for portraits, but you'll have to give them all a try. Try everything. Start with something inexpensive when you're first starting, work your way up, and I really recommend the wood panels if you're doing portraits or fine detail work. Alrighty, so that's it for today. I hope you learned something new, and if you have any questions, if there's anything else you'd like me to go over, let me know in the comments below. Alrighty, I'll see you at the beach. Bye.